parshas Va'ero. Vaydaber Elokim el Moshe. Elokim spoke to Moshe. Elokim is Midas Adin. Vaydaber is a more formal way of expression. Let's say V'yomer Hashem el Moshe. Vaydaber Elokim Moshe. V'yomer Elov ani Hashem. So he goes from Vaydaber Elokim, formal Elokim Midas Adin, to Vayomer, which is less formal, Ani Hashem. Okay, let's see Rashi. V'daber Elokim Moshe, Dibri ito mishpat, al shehikshel daber lo v'lom haris lo mazer. He spoke to him within the context of judgment, because he spoke strongly by asking the question. The question was out of line. No, it's interesting. Last week's parsha ended after Moshe Rabbeinu asked the question, Loma Rish, Loma Zeh, Loma Zeh Shlachtoni, why you make it so difficult for the people? Things are getting worse rather than better. Loma Zeh Shlachtoni, so Rashi says, and if you don't want to explain it to me, so why did you ask me to be the agent, the shliach? So what does Hashem answer? Ato tira. Now you will see the gula. So what's the inference of now? Now, but not you're not going to take them into Eretz Yisrael, which was the punishment for the question. So if he already was punished in the last week's parsha, what's V'daber Elokim el Moshe? What do you mean Dibri ito mishpat? I mean, he already passed judgment on him. He already was sentenced. Now it's a whole different situation. V'daber Elokim el Moshe. What's V'daber? He already pronounced the judgment. So why do we revert back to Midas HaRachmim? Here's my question. If at this moment he's imparting mishpat, we understand why it's Vaydaber. But he already imparted the mishpat by saying Ato Tira. Now you will see, in the future you will not see. Meaning he already pronounced the sentence, he's not going to Eretz Yisrael. David, what do you say? Okay. Such humility. Okay.
Wisdom.
He's defending himself. That's why he's quiet, Robbie. Okay.
It was like that. It was continuation from what was.
So you see, I think so. You see over here something interesting. That if a person was judged because he failed, you're not worthy of rachmim. Even though the judgment was passed already, to be worthy of rachmim, you have to have a degree of worthiness. As a result of that's one. But I think even more than that, what was the basis for the question? What was the basis for Moshe's question? There was a certain degree of familiarity that he had with Hashem. As we'll see, Rashi brings, Chabal al da'avdim lo mishtachin. Woe to me for those who are lost and no longer of us, I promised them, and in their lifetime they never saw the fulfillment of the promise. They never asked the question. I've shown you've taught you so much, and now you ask this kind of question. As a result of that, Hashem did not answer him. Hashem did not answer the question. Lo merosa. He says, you know something, because he asked the question, you're going to be punished. But factually, the lack of understanding, it's still there. As a result of that, he's still speaking to him with mishpat. Hashem didn't explain it. If Hashem would have explained it to him, he says, I understand where I made my mistake, and now I understand the approach, is one thing. He didn't explain it to him. Maybe. V'yomei levani Hashem, nemon l'shalom schar tov l'mahalchim l'fonei betomim. I am faithful to pay good reward to those who walk before me in wholeness, in wholesomeness. Now, v'lo l'chinam shilachticho, I did not send you for naught, kiim l'kayim dvori, shedibarti l'ovos rishonim, to fulfill my word that originally I actually had said to the Ovos Rishonim, had spoken. I am faithful to, in the positive or negative. There's going to be a reckoning. You know, it's interesting. I mean, the question is, why did it have to get worse, better, rather than better before the Gula started, the Malchus began. So I think one of the Farshim, maybe the Orach Chaim HaKadosh says, why do we have to go to Mitzrayim? Because of the Bris Bein Absorim. But Hashem had said to Avram Avinu. But what did he say? Va'avodum v'inu osam. They will enslave them, they will afflict them. So you had to have that component of affliction. Avodum was till we left, we were slaves. What about the Inu? If the Inu yet wasn't fulfilled, they can't leave. So this was the last payoff, so to say. It had to get worse before it got better. And that's what happened with Moshe Rabbeinu. The withdrawal of the straw subsidy, and they had to nevertheless meet the quota of bricks, that was the last payment of the Inu Osam. It's not. So to bring about the Gula, so the question is, well, what did Moshe Rabbeinu have? Moshe Rabbeinu should have come after that, right? But what precipitated that? What precipitated the withdrawal of the straw? Moshe, because they said we're free. They stopped. There was a work stoppage. So therefore, Moshe had to be involved in that last piece. That's number one. Secondly, you could say there's a klal. The Gemara says Hakol holechem acharachitum. Everything is determined by the closure. When you close something, you complete something. That's how everything is determined. For instance, you find by who took out Atzmos Yosef from Mitzrayim? Moshe. But yet the Gemara says, brings a pasuk, says, Klauso brought Atzmos Yosef out of Mitzrayim and buried him in Shechem. Why? Because it's called Maschel b'mitzvah omelo gomor. Whoever begins a mitzvah, he should complete the mitzvah. Because we see that the pasuk does not accredit Moshe for taking the Atzmos Yosef out of Egypt, but rather the Klal Yisrael, because they buried him in Shechem. So everything is determined by the chitum. Now, who's the chitum? The chitum is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was that special person. So the Inu had to complete the Golus, the exile, and all that aspect of Avoda, of the Inu, had to be completed through Moshe Rabbeinu. Because otherwise it could have been precipitated some other way. But yet Moshe Rabbeinu had to be the one to precipitate the Gemar, the completion of the Inu. That's what I was thinking. You know, people don't realize that, the whole, the Gemara tells us in Brochus that Yisur Mimarkim, that suffering brings about cleansing, tones. Yisur Mimarkim, the Gemara says that just as how do you sweeten meat? When you salt meat and it extracts the blood, the Gemara refers to it, it's Mate Gesabosar. It sweetens the meat. Now, Baruch Hashem, I never ate meat with blood. If it tastes sweeter or not, I don't know. But the Gemara says when you extract the blood from the meat is sweetened. Identically, Yisurim Markin is Odom. Yisurim suffering also cleanses the person. It's a cleansing process. The whole idea of, we've extended the life expectancy of people. Most people, let's say they live beyond a certain age. They're racked with pain, doctors, medication. What's its value? And people, they don't even know what to do with their lives. Right? After they retire at a certain age, so what are they? And they don't know themselves what. So, but if within the context of Torah, understanding, a moment of emunah, a moment of anything, a mitzvah, every mitzvah is right. It's Eina Toyodes Choron Shel Mitzvos. But what about the pain and the suffering? The value of that has infinite value, because that's kapara. If you put it in the right context, that's kapara. That's the Inu. You have to, if you fulfill your quota of Inu before you leave this world, you have your debt paid off. The debt's paid off. People don't understand that. You have whatever it is. We want to lessen the pain to a degree. But do you want to put a person out of his misery and take his life before he should die? It's a whole different understanding of what the value of pain is. Life has value regardless to what degree you suffer. Not only because Hashem is the one who determines when you live and when you die, but it actually has value. And the reason why Hashem is extending it is not because, He just wants to pain you, that you should suffer for the sake of suffering. No, the suffering itself has infinite value. So I'm saying the Inu had to be completed before they were able to leave Mitzrayim, otherwise they couldn't have left. Okay, let's see tomorrow. Whatever it could be.